Mr. Goren,
who is
the founder and CEO of HELPER.
And what is HELPER?
HELPER is an innovative app that gives singers and performers a 24/7 rehearsal room in their back pocket for them to learn their music confidently anytime, anywhere.
And how do they do that?
So right now we are in previews for BROADWAYCON as we put in the finishing touches of the app. We've been at BROADWAYCON for the past 3 years, so we're showing off the final functionality of the app with a few pre-recorded songs, but we'll be having our official opening night or launch in the next few weeks where you will be able to add your own music then. We provide a bunch of tools that help the singers learn their music with volume controls and real-time feedback that really imitate a rehearsal process, so it's intuitive to the user and singer.
So how does the app actually work? What's the nuts and bolts of it?
Yes, so you take a song, you open it up in our rehearsal space, and we display all the vocal parts in a piano roll format, so you don't need to read sheet music to learn your music. We show it as piano roll bubbles. You can turn on and off the different vocal parts, so you can just focus on your own vocal part and then slowly add in the other vocal parts as you get more comfortable. We have a 5-step approach to learning and holding harmonies that for beginners, if they don't know how to approach learning a harmony, as well as we have real-time feedback on the screen as well that will show you exactly what spots you need to work on, and you can play back your voice with the other vocal parts to hear how you blend. We really mimic the rehearsal experience so that you are confident and prepared when you walk into rehearsal.
So it's sort of like your own vocal coach and music director.
In a sense, yes, and that way you can practice at home, get ready to go, walk in feeling confident either for your audition or for your music rehearsal, ready to add the finishing touches with your vocal coach or music director. Yes.
How'd you come up with this idea? I swear nobody else ever thought of it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, it came out of personal need, and I am a theater geek. I perform in Philadelphia and New York, and when I was 13 years old, I did my first professional show in Philly. I walk out on stage for a dress rehearsal of a show I was in, and I opened the show singing harmony. And for the first time, we added microphone and sound, and I could hear the other person singing their harmony part along with me. And I walk out on stage, they start to sing, I heard them sing, and it all just fell apart, and it was devastating to me as a 13-year-old. And I searched and searched for a solution. There was nothing out there, and that's when I decided I was going to create this app for myself and the community out there.
And you're saying it's launching, so we can't get it yet, but we'll get it in a few weeks. So you go to the App Store to get it? How does one get this app?
So actually, if you go to the App Store now, we do have our preview version with 7 songs in there now, so you can learn what it'll be like once you want to learn your own music. And then it'll just be an update, and we're on iPhone and Android, both platforms.
And it's called HELPER.
It is called HELPER.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Outside and what the whole picture intention is and how your character fits in that is such a gift when you are placed. I won't go any further with that because you know that beautifully, Anthony. But so I think you can feel like a certain kind of at peace and grateful for what you've had an opportunity to do and what you've had a certain kind of success with. But there's always more to be discovered. Even when you think, oh my God, I did this role for a year, then you come back to it. If you have the gift of that, Dolly too, I didn't know I'd be coming back. And six additional performances, and it was so different for me. So different, having the time in between and the perspective and whatever. So it's not about walking around going, damn it, I didn't get it, I never really got her. It's not that. It's just knowing there's always more. There's always something new because you're looking at somebody new, or you came to work a different way that day. So there's just something else. So it's all going, I would say.
Gentleman in the back, in the blue shirt,
Yeah. As an actor, about creating characters, have you ever done a show or been in a character that you put in all the work, you've got the character, but something seems missing, and the moment they put you in the costume, that last piece of the puzzle clicks, and you finally get it, or you finally feel that character?
a show where you've done all the work and all the preparation and all the rehearsal, but then once you were put into your costume, everything came together in a way that was new? Melissa?
I love costumes.
And Red the Runway.
I do. I love clothes. I love costumes. So I think it's sometimes the costume can be confusing because I visualize it right away, and I even put like a rehearsal skirt on or something. So sometimes the fabric might feel weird or something. I was talking to Tony Walton, and he is a great, famous costume maker, and he said that ballerinas always love their costumes right away, and that actors always go, "Do you think it's right? Should it be a little dirtier? Shouldn't it be a little tighter? A little more?" He said, it's funny. He said that ballerinas, they start spinning. The minute you put it on, they start dancing around his studio. And that actors are always, they already have ideas. They're, okay. They go, okay. So I might be a little like that, but I also get excited because usually we've already talked enough that it's going to be on a good track. Maybe playing Clara in Passion, I felt sexier the more clothes they put on me, all the layers and the satins and the bows and this up and this over. It just made me feel just so delicious, and that helped. And I think, when you're in a period piece, like, God, I can see you right now. There's so many in my mind, but you're a king of mine. Clothes. Oh my God, your whole performance, you were so beautiful.
I felt that way when I saw Anthony for the first time in his Charlie Brown mustard yellow shirt with the lightning zigzag. You guys, this has been, first of all, I just have to say, this is for 1 second. Anthony and I met 20 years ago doing Your Good Man Charlie Brown, and our night will be celebrating that beautiful reunion of that cast, but to be sitting next to him right now, I think you'll agree with me that time doesn't, it's like Benjamin Buttons. It's like the craziest, most magical thing. So, selfishly, thank you for starting BroadwayCon. And now we're sitting here year after year just celebrating what really is the most joyous thing in all of our lives. And I see so many of you meeting each other here. It's like camp, you're camp friends. You don't see each other all year, and then you're here today. It is the
Ethan Slater! You called it. You called it. You wrote it that song. You're running away from me.
Yeah. Should I be running away from you?
No, come talk to the people.
Oh, I'll talk to you for a second. I'd love to.
This is very odd. I feel like you're chasing.
Oh my goodness.
Hashtag chase me, Ethan Slater. I don't know what context you can make that work in, but whoever makes it work the best wins. Me. Okay. What's important about being BroadwayCon for you?
Oh my goodness. Being at BroadwayCon feels like a lot of those tweets said, it feels like being with your community, with people who understand you. I get to fan out over all of these people that I either have or haven't gotten to meet because of Broadway and this community. And so it feels really special to be in a conference room filled with people who get that. And when Susan Egan comes out and I'm freaking out, everyone else is too, you know? Like, that's awesome. That's special.
It is. And tell the people what's coming up next, where they can find you on the television sets.
On the television sets, just like a couple little gigs here and there. I'm a part of the Fosse Verdon TV show.
That's what I'm talking about. You played Joel Grey in the Fosse Verdon show.
It's sort of like BroadwayCon on TV.
Totally. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, it's really pretty special to see all these people inhabiting our heroes. You know,
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm going to make you do one more thing for me. But first of all, let's give a round of applause for this incredible band. And George Farmer. There's George. Marcus Wells on the drums. And on bass, Beth Callan. All right, we're very lucky to have an incredible woman with us who is such a bright, shining light in the theater and within our community. You know this person pretty well. Do you want to introduce?
Oh my goodness.
Go for it. It's going to be more heartfelt from you.
Let's welcome to the stage one of the most visionary people that I have ever met, and you have probably seen her work, the wonderful and incomparable Tina Landau.
So yeah, my great fear at this moment is that I'm about to put an end to all the fun, which I really hope is not the case, because I'm actually a lot of fun, but I've been asked to speak about home. So I'm here to kind of give the 10-minute talk that includes my own ramblings on what home means to me and why and how we find home in the theater. So I hope you can handle that. And I know all we really want to do is kind of get on with the party and the panels. And you look amazing in your costume. So here we go. If you can take a moment just to either close your eyes or think to yourself or put your head down and try to answer, finish this sentence, which is home is blank to me. And I'm asking you to do this because I did this for the last 2 weeks. And if you could fill in that blank, and we all said our answers out loud, I have a feeling we would find as many answers as there are people in this room. In fact, I think there's probably no other word that could evoke so many meanings except for the word love, right? I'm obsessed with the word home, and I have been since years of moving from New York to California in high school, where we kept switching homes, to various college dorm rooms, back to New York before 2 years at ART, followed by a stint at Trinity Rep before moving back to New York, where I blazed through several too expensive apartments and rat-infested apartments, which resulted in a period of 17 years in which I moved 19 times. I'm also one of those people who have made The Wizard of Oz the most watched movie of all times. And if you look on my bookshelf, you'd find one entire shelf devoted to titles like The Meaning of Home, The Longing for Home, The Performance of Home, The Poetics of Space, and The Zen of Oz. And sometimes at night, when I'm having trouble falling asleep, I put on House Hunters, which is a show about people searching for home. And in high school, I wrote a song for a musical called Take Me Back Home, and in my musical Dream True, I wrote a song called Finding Home. And last season with SpongeBob, I made a show that was all about home. SpongeBob trying to save his home, Pearl wanting to run away from home, Sandy missing her home but coming home to find a new community in Bikini Bottom, and Squidward, who only truly feels at home with his name in lights on the Great White Way. But what matters to me these days and what I've been thinking about is not the sense of being at home, but is actually missing home and what results from it, which is a search. Home is, to me, our place of origin and our final destination. So its identity is twofold. And what is that, Tina? You know, that's what happens. Identity is twofold. The home we remember, which causes the missing, and the home we dream of, which causes the search. And the search is what I think brings us poetry and relationships and men on the moon and Broadway shows. When I was in my 20s, I was sick in bed one day and I turned on this 10-hour marathon TV show of a guy named John Bradshaw, who you might know. It was something called The Family, and it was a series of guided exercises designed to have us get in touch with our inner child. He sort of coined that phrase. I was told to close my eyes, and you can try this at home if you want, and recall one moment from when I was a toddler, age 3 or 4. And I remembered for the first time sitting outside in the playground in my backyard on one of those little horse things that have springs and go back and forth. And I remembered mostly the sunlight and the exact angle of the rays and how they made me feel. And what I recalled most vividly was the feeling of being free and safe and at home. And then Bradshaw asked us to jump ahead and recall an image from our childhoods between the ages of 6 to 9. And what came to me was a memory of standing outside my kitchen door, which I had gone in a million times. It was always open. And on this particular day, it being locked. And I remember again the feeling, which was alone and confused and rejected. And in thinking of those two moments, which was really only a couple years in my life, I realized that I had somehow gone from feeling at home in the world to feeling displaced in it. Now, I, like most of us in this room, are really blessed to have had that feeling spring from something like a locked door, as opposed to the millions on the planet who experience it due to eviction or deportation, imprisonment, destruction of physical homes due to natural disasters, and war, and we could go on. But I do believe, though our physical realities may differ, whether we're born into privilege or poverty and had happy childhoods or brutal ones, we all share, at our core, some kind of spiritual or emotional homesickness, a longing for home. So what is this thing? What is the home is blank? Last night I asked my girlfriend, because I still didn't know, I said, you know, what is it? What does home mean to you? And has she experienced it in the theater? Has she experienced theater as home? And she answered, yes. She felt that way in high school when she joined the drama club, and to quote her words, suddenly felt I had a place. She went on to say that as an actor, she felt at home because she could express parts of herself that she couldn't express in her real home. She could be angry or jealous or mean on stage, but not with her parents at home. So, is home the space to which you can bring all the parts of yourself and not just the pretty ones? Is home a feeling of safety, knowing you'll be cared for and protected? Is home the experience of being seen and known and above all accepted, not only by others, but also, perhaps most importantly, by yourself? Yes, and home is that for me. The word I keep coming back to is belonging. Belonging in a family or relationship or cast, and when you're truly at home in your own skin, and in these moments of grace, feeling at home even in the universe. But when do we get to feel this? Never, occasionally. We all want to feel this, right? And because I think on some cellular level, now I'm going a little esoteric here, we carry a memory of it within us already. And yes, I'm talking about the womb. The enclosed, dark, safe space from which we emerge, which, by the way, sounds a lot like a theater to me. So we go through our lives longing to return to or find for the first time this space. And the desire for that feeling becomes what we do. We walk on roads, we go on journeys, we make art and make musicals and listen to cast albums as we search for home. We travel, we read, we find lovers, families, build structures, create communities, tell stories as we search for home. Which brings me to this, the theater, the home of our stories. I don't know if you all know the theories of Joseph Campbell that he puts forth in a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. There's a champion. His theory is that there's one story. He calls it the mono myth that is told over and over and over in all cultures, in all times. And what did I write here? I crossed something out. But in different forms. That was very important that I wrote that. It's the story we need to tell and the one that defines us. It's a story that follows the pattern of the seasons or night turning to day, and it's a story always about going away from home and returning to home. And there we find Odysseus and Aeneas and Dorothy, of course, and Luke Skywalker and so many others. And we find, I looked today, almost every show that's running on Broadway right now. They're all versions of the monomyth and the hero story, from Harry Potter, Wicked, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Lion King, Hamilton. I go through the whole list. And there's Hairspray and Millie and How to Succeed and Billy Elliot, Sound of Music, Cabaret, Anne of La Mancha. Truly, they are versions of the monomyth all. And the audiences, as audiences for these shows, when you go to them or listen to them, you connect, therefore, to something mythical and subliminal. The monomyth provides the familiarity. And when you connect with the specifics of character, are able to identify, when you see yourself represented on stage in a show, the most important, when we see lost or hidden parts of ourselves brought into light on a stage and treated with compassion and love, then too we find a form of home. I'm on my last page. As people making these shows, we hope for connection as well, to reach across the footlights and feel something back. And in the meantime, we put ourselves in rooms with collaborators we quickly call family. We establish routines like our warm-ups and signing in and how we decorate our dressing rooms. We operate in a space where everyone's contribution matters and couldn't be excised, from the director to props to the second electrician. Yay, electricians. And when we go into a theater, most anywhere in the world, unless we're doing something site-specific or really outside the box, we recognize its signifiers as our own. The stage, the house, right? We call it a house. Its aisles and fly rails and ghost lights. These we know like our own front door. So we make theater and we see theater, all of us in this room, on some level as a search for home, and sometimes it becomes that, and we find it. The theater can be a home because it offers us intimacy, familiarity. It offers us safety as we attempt the impossible and splay open our souls and expose our vulnerabilities and know it's okay. It's a space where all, including the me or the you, riddle this room the refuge and the comfort that we've all surely found sometime in our lives. May Broadway be a home for an ever larger family of theater makers of every race, class, religion, country of origin, immigration status, disability, age, gender identity, or sexual orientation, who are making stories about and for audiences and fans of every race, class, religion, country of origin, immigration status, disability, age, gender, identity, or sexual orientation. May you search for and find a home in the theater. May you find a home here today at this conference. And know that when we all are saying to you, welcome to BroadwayCon, we are in fact saying, welcome home. Thank you.
Well, simply magnificent, Ilana. So guys, our BroadwayCon is falling on some really impressive musical anniversaries. It's the 75th anniversary of Oklahoma. 60th anniversary of both Gypsy and The Sound of Music, which you have all been in at one point in your lives. 40 years, oh my gosh, 40 years for Evita and Sweetie Todd. 35 years for Sunday in the Park with George. This is aging me right here. 10 years for Next to Normal. 5 years of Beautiful on Broadway, but one musical that is as special to so very many of us. We are very lucky to have an incredible guest. She's here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. Please welcome to the stage, I can't believe I'm saying it, Susan Egan!
Deserve to lose my freedom in this way. You Friends, that's all